So, difference of squares, we've talked about this pattern before. This is a squared minus b squared is a plus b times a minus b. And if you look at part B, x squared minus 3, this is a difference of squares because we are subtracting, and these are both perfect squares. This can factor out to x plus 3 times x minus 3. The reason for that is if we multiply this out, we'd have x squared plus 3x and minus 3x, that's the plus and minus, and then we'd have minus 9. So, it's not quite as simple with the sum of squares, because in order to get a positive here, you have to have some imaginary numbers in here. If you were to try to use box and diamond to factor this, you would not be able to, because there's nothing that multiplies together to give you 100 that adds together to give you 0. Something has to be negative. So, in the sum of squares, this is why I had you multiply this first one out, we'd have x squared minus 2xi plus 2xi, and then minus 4i squared. The I squared, if you will recall, becomes what? Negative 1. So we've got x squared, those two add out, minus 4 times negative 1, which is x squared plus 4. So that's how we get the sum of squares as opposed to the difference of squares. We have to have imaginary numbers in there. So this would be a plus bi times a minus bi. So that I has to be present in order to have that sum of squares. So I'm going to grab the key to talk about the sum and difference of cubes, because I don't want to do all those problems. If you look at our patterns here, we have x cubed plus 27, 27x cubed plus 8. Those are all perfect cubes. So if we look at the relationship between our x and our x cubed and our 3 and our 27, 3 to the third power is 27, x to the third power is x to the third. Figuring out what these are in relation to that is important as well, because we have to have opposite signs here, the x and the plus and the minus here, in order to end up with parts that add up to 0. So our negative 9x and our positive 9x, negative 3x squared and a positive 3x squared. So the way that this pattern comes together, and it's harder to put together, it's not quite as obvious. Once you figure out what those cube roots are, the pattern works like this. We have a cubed plus b cubed. We need the same sign for a plus b, that's our first factor. And then for the second factor, a squared, that has to be an opposite sign, minus ab plus b squared. And then with the difference of cubes, pardon me, this has to be minus. This is going to be, again, the same sign, but this one, these two are going to be opposite signs. So, take a moment, write down that pattern. If you're interested in the highly proficient level for the polynomial identities, make sure you write that down. If you are just interested in proficiency level, you need to be comfortable with the sum and difference of squares as opposed to cubes. So that's just a quick wrap up of what you guys were supposed to get out of today. And hopefully you guys got what I had up earlier with what you need to know for your test, but I'll have a review for you on Tuesday.